we've known each other since our kids were so little. I
Yep.
remember first meeting you when my oldest was at swim lessons, and you were rock solid. And I looked at you and I go, how do I get muscles like that? And you were working out hard. You teach the hardest hot yoga strength classes that I've ever been to. They kick my booty, but you do it with such energy. I don't know how you talk through those classes. And you do spin classes, and you do other things, and you train outside those classes for yourself. Now, you were doing that in your 30s and 40s, and now you're
And
almost
50s and
and
50s.
50s,
Yeah.
right? Okay. And so now you're knocking at the door at 60 years old. You look like
Mhm.
you're 30 or 40, which is amazing. Your body looks phenomenal still. And
Thank
so
you.
for all of you women out there, you don't have to lose hope. You don't just have to get, overweight and lose that muscle and have the brain fog and the hair falling out, all of those things.
Hmm.
Now, of course, you need to be doing your liver detoxing and taking care of your body internally with diet, but you also need to change with your changing body to get the results. So can you take us through what you've learned and what you've changed over the decades?
Of course. Um, Brad and I met about 3 years ago at a gym that we were both working at. I was teaching classes there and he was training clients. And we didn't really know each other very well, but I knew him well enough to know that he was a great trainer. I saw his clientele come and go. And I had decided that I wanted to have explant surgery after 30 years of having implants that had never been replaced or taken out. And when I did that, I knew that I was going to have some serious downtime, that I wasn't going to be teaching classes at all for a bit, and that my training was going to look a lot differently. So I decided to ask Brad if he would train me while I was down, meaning, okay, I'm not going to be doing my crazy HIIT classes, I'm not doing spin classes, none of that stuff is going to happen, but I'm sure I can still do a leg workout or certain things that we could work around. And he said, absolutely. So what began as me thinking I was going to do 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month of training with him turned into me completely shocked about how wrong I was doing things and how I was doing way too much volume of things, teaching a couple classes a day and still doing my stuff on top of it, and a spin class here or there, maybe still running a little bit at that point. And he just really said, you're doing way too much. And once I was given this permission, if you will, to sort of scale back and really put the emphasis on strength training that is methodical, strength training with progression, strength training that is not just willy-nilly, I'm going to go and just throw a heavy weight around. I want to do it with intention. I realized that, oh my gosh, I've been doing this so wrong. But as we've all talked about, it's something that we've had ingrained in our head that if we want to look a certain way, we have to absolutely kill ourselves. We have to go harder, faster, longer, better, as well as really scaling back what our intake is. So with his help, he really showed me how the strength training was going to be so crucial. Walking gave me permission to get away from doubling up classes. And there are days where I teach a class and that's all I do. So he just really helped me reshape how I was thinking about exercise and longevity, really.
So I just to emphasize this, as we're getting older and into perimenopause and menopause, our ovaries are dying. We literally have an organ that dies, and our adrenals have to take over a job that our ovaries were doing, and that is producing our sex hormones. So our adrenals that are already tapped out by raising our kids that are now becoming adult kids. And as my preschool teachers told me a long time ago, she said, little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems.
Mm-hmm.
So even though we're not changing diapers, they are a true stressor. And then we've got our elderly parents that we might be taking care of. We've got a job. We've got a husband or a spouse that we might be dealing with, all of the craziness of the world that's going on. So the amount of stress that we're already under outside of actually going to work out and doing too much in the gym or on the treadmill, our adrenals are tapped. And women in their 40s and 50s have, if you want to call it adrenal fatigue, whatever it is, they're tapped.
Mhm.
Cortisol is not kicking in the morning to get you out of bed, and then it's making you wired and tired at night. You're not sleeping well with the bombardment of the hormonal imbalances, making the sleep even worse. Then you're waking up and forcing yourself to go do that 1 or 3 workouts on very little fuel. You don't think that's stressing your body out even more? So it's this cascade. And then we're thinking, oh my God, I'm failing. I'm not good enough. I'm not doing enough. And that's a stressor. And then we wig out at our kids and our husbands, and they think we're crazy. So there's this all of this stuff that is piling up, where if you just take a step back and go, I need to restore my adrenals and relieve my stress and go after the big things. And that muscle is an organ. And it is so hard to keep after you are in menopause. So, you younger women, take advantage of that muscle you're able to build and keep it. Do everything you can to keep it.